So today on Smoke Break, we are talking about electronics. Stay tuned. So last week, my contract was up. I went out and got myself a new phone. It was time for a new phone. I had the iPhone 13. I've since upgraded to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And honestly, it's been great so far. I mean, it's only been a week, but this is what I'm recording on right now. And picture quality's been great, video quality's been great, editing has been a breeze. I'm absolutely loving it. So I know everybody has their preference on what phone they use, what camera they use, what speakers they use, and everything like that. Personally, I've run the gauntlet. I used to be an electronics installer. Started when I was about 18 years old, moved to the city, started doing custom installs and stuff like that, custom wiring, retrofitting, pre-wiring on, new builds, all kinds of stuff like that. And then when I moved back to town here, I was about, 20 something. I got into the satellite business. So I started doing Shaw Direct and ExploreNet installs. Did that for many years, I believe somewhere up and around the 15-year mark. And while I was doing that, I was still hanging TVs, playing with cameras, computers. I've built networks, I've built camera systems. I've played with all kinds of electronics. I've always had a passion for electronics, even at a younger age. I know all my buddies, used to do car audio before I was even 16, before I even had a car. I was playing with car audio with them, trying to figure it out. And it kind of led from car audio to home audio to just about anything that had electronic components in it. With the world revolving around electronics now, we can't say it isn't, because everything has come down to having electronics, using electronics, everything. The world has gone digital. And with that being said, electronics plays a very important part in business itself. It makes everything simpler, ties things together. Websites can manage inventory, can manage sales, shipping, all that kind of stuff. I know we rely on it way too much, but it does make life simpler when it works properly. We all know when electronics fail, life is up. You know what I'm saying. So a few years back, I had bought myself a camera. I wanted to start taking better quality pictures, better quality videos, got myself a camera. Nothing fancy. I'd spent, maybe $500-600 on it. Just trying to kind of get a feel for it. And for me personally, I wasn't a big fan. I didn't like the constant transferring files and moving stuff over. And phone cameras have come such a long way that I ended up selling my camera and just going strictly with my phones. And the main reason for that was editing software. I use Adobe products for just about everything, whether it be with the furniture business or the barbecue business. Adobe products have been phenomenal for me. Photoshop, Rush, PDF files, doing price lists and stuff like that. It's all been phenomenal. Lightroom's great. It's been just an experience that has made my life so much simpler. And even on this iPhone right now, I'm gonna, finish up this video. I'm gonna go inside, sit on the couch, load everything into Adobe Rush, and start trimming. And by the time I'm said and done, my video's there. I can adjust picture quality, I can adjust colors, audio, take out any kind of background noise, add titles, whatever you need. So, that makes life a lot easier when you're trying to do what we do. As creators, when we're trying to get a recipe out there, well, we probably take an hour or two's worth of video, or 30 minutes, or whatever it may be, depending on the video or recipe. And now we got to take that recipe and cram it into anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and a half, because the attention span of people has come so short due to social media that we need to trim. We need to get it as compact as possible, but still give as much information as we can and be clear about our message. And you know what? I see it constantly, because my reels for recipes, which are anywhere from 30 seconds to 90 seconds, get into the thousands of views. Smoke break, which, as we all know, can be anywhere from 7 minutes to 15 minutes, get a couple hundred at best. You know, I've got a couple episodes that are under 100. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not just doing this for you guys. I'm also doing this for me because it's fun. I'm entertained by it. You know, I'm letting out a totally different artistic, personality, persona into Smoke Break. It's fun, it's enjoyable. And you know what? If somebody can learn a lesson from what I'm talking about, bonus. It's just that much better. Now, I know when it comes to phones versus cameras, phones versus phones, there's always a huge debate, right? Everybody picks a side. Everybody does what they do with what they have, and they swear by those devices. I mean, me personally, before these two iPhones, I had an iPhone 6 many, many, many years ago, and I despised it. I wasn't a big fan of it. So I started getting into other phones. I got a Samsung Note. I had an LG V30. I had an HP, I think it was an Elite Pro, which didn't even come on contract. I bought that one out myself and put my SIM card in it, and it was a great phone for a while. The LG V30, one of the best phones I've ever owned. I had that thing for 2 years. I put it away for 2 years just in case anything happened to my new phone, which I had gotten after that. And now my son uses it because his phone broke. That phone is like 6 years old and still going. I mean, the software is a little outdated and the battery's a little weak, but it's still a great phone. That thing is probably the best phone I've ever owned. And now these last two iPhones. I had a Samsung prior to my iPhone 13, and I'm guessing the battery expanded in it, blew the screen up, blew the motherboard. It was shot. It was done. So I went to Bell, signed a new contract, got the iPhone 13 because it was right around Christmas. They didn't have any other stock. I didn't have much of a choice. It was either that or the exact same phone that I had. With what happened, I mean, you can't blame me. I wasn't going back to the same phone. So I got the iPhone 13. The improvements that Apple made on their phones was outstanding. I absolutely loved it. And then the integration with all their other devices. I have my MacBook Pro. I have an iPad. I have home speakers or HomePods. I've got Apple TVs now. I've got my watch. And everything just works together. There's no third-party apps. There's no anything else. Everything just works. And for me, with how busy I am, that's probably the best feature and one of the main reasons that I run Apple. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with Samsung or Motorola or whatever phones that you're using. But for me, I'm loving these iPhones. I'm loving these Apple products. Sure, they're a little more costly, but to me, it's worth it. That's what we run. So with all that being said, I'm curious. What do you guys use for your devices? When you take pictures of whatever content you're making, are you using a camera? Are you using a video camera? Are you using a phone? A tablet? Let me know in the comments. We would love to know some reviews. We'd love to see what you're using, how you're using it, editing software. What are you using? Let me know. Until next time.